Good evening. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Hope Shot live events. Tonight, we have our Addiction to Success series, and we have Nathan and Dustin on tonight because we're going to hear Dustin's story. And I'm pretty excited about it.
Glad one of us.
What's that?
So I'm glad one of us is.
Dude, you're going to kill it, bro. You're gonna about drop a mic, and we're all going to sit here in awe. You know what I mean? Listen, Dustin is such a bright light into this recovery world. Like, he's always on these lives with us, man. And it is just, he always brings another vibe with him, man, all the time. You know, he don't see it, but I'm telling you right now, I'm telling you what I see. I put a post like that because
that's exactly what you said.
Biggest critics, man, you know? So just believe
it. I'm also, it's awesome to see somebody new in recovery and see like them catch fire for this process, man. You know, it's I remember my first year when everything was new, and it's exciting, it's nerve-wracking because you're learning how to, you know, be in public. You're learning how to be a friend, to, you know, navigate life sober. And it's cool to see Dustin growing up in this deal and, you know, coming out Saturday and being a huge support at our event. These things, that's how you stay sober, man. You get connected, you show up when you don't want to, like Dustin's about to do right now. And you fight through the fears and the nervousness, and you grow from it. So exactly. I'm really happy to hear your story, Dustin.
So okay, so we are I'm going to read the clarity statement, and if you guys are just jumping on, say what's up, let us know you're here. And also, please share this live feed, because I'm telling you right now, and I'm telling you right now, Dustin's story is going to help somebody tonight, and it just takes you, the sharer, to share it. Okay. He can't reach somebody without you sharing it. It just hits that share button, boom, share it. And then come back and let us know you shared it. We want to know. So that way we can shout you out as well. So the Hope Shot clarity statement. And listen, I'm going to explain something real quick. The clarity statement. The reason we do this is because we support all pathways of recovery. You might hear 12 steps. You might hear Matt. You might hear SMART. You might hear whatever. We don't care what kind of recovery you have. We want to hear about it. We want you to be a part of this Hope Shot family. So this clarity statement just lets everybody know that we are down with whatever. You know what I mean? So we here at the Hope Shot are a group of people in recovery spreading inspiration. We come from all different walks of life and pathways of recovery. Our verbiage may be different at times, but we all have one thing in common: recovery as a lifestyle. We support all pathways of recovery. It doesn't matter how you get from A to Z, just get there. Thank you for being a part of our family. And I mean that. So let me just shout out a few people, man. I'm going to get right to Dustin. You know, I'm seeing these Facebook users, and I'm like, did I share it to the recovery vibes again? But who cares? Anyways, we got Michael. What's up, Michael? We got Jessica watching from work. That's what's up. The good stuff. And she shared. She might be the one. We got Kimberly. What's up, Kimberly? Oh, what's up, Melissa? I hope everything's good with you.
Hi, Melissa.
She said, you've got this, Dustin. Share your truth. We are here for it. Yes, we are. Let's see. We got Rebecca. What's up, Rebecca? Hope Sunshine. Love it. Let's see. Looking forward to hearing it. We got Amanda. What's up, Amanda? Always good to see you here. Let's see. We got Helen. She shared it. Thank you so much, Helen. We got Hope that shared it. Thank you so much. We got Tommy Gomes in the freaking house. Let's see. We got Mike Mike in the house. What's up, bud? What's up, bud? Love you guys. Love you too, my friend. And then we got Lisa all the way from Houston. What up, Houston?
Always doing something.
Yeah. Let's see. And so okay. Wait, we got Facebook user says they needs a shout out. Okay, I have to figure out. Give me 1 second. Let me just see if I did this or not. Let me just see real quick, okay? No, I didn't. I don't know why. Okay. I'm tripping. We got Jane from the UK. What's up? It must be late there too, so thank you for being with us. What'd you say, Nate?
No, I was just telling her thank you, turning in from across the pond there.
Yeah, right. Across the pond. Yeah. All right. So, Dustin, man, it's always great to have Dustin here, man. He's such a bright light in recovery, man. And even the new people, new people that say, I only have this, I only got that. He's got 11 months, man. And that's huge because you know what? He brings that light that I need to do with, I got 4 years. You know what I mean? Like, I need him to bring that with him because I need that. I need you to shine up my light too. And that's what you bring. You bring the recharge that I need to get that spark again, man. You know what I mean? Because I could get dulled out quick, bro. You know what I mean? We lose the thunder sometimes, and you bring the thunder back, man. I mean, don't ever discredit yourself, and like because you help me more than you know, and I want you to know that you help me. Okay, so and I'm super grateful to have you on here. I'm excited to hear your story, and you have something to bring to the table, and just remember that. Okay.
Thank you. I
All
totally
right.
relate to that. Like I like going to meetings that bring in the treatment centers because it reminds me of my first 30 days being there, miserable, sweating and everything like that.
All right.
So,
well, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I am very, very nervous. Like I was telling them in the back room. I've done something similar to this before, but this is really my first time telling my story. While I was in rehab, they had us do something similar. And I spent about a month and a half writing word for word what I was going to say because I was just too nervous. And then I sat there with a paper like this and read word for word all 26 pages because I don't do this. I don't do public speaking. This is not really my thing at all. It's one of my biggest fears. So my story doesn't have a lot of the common themes that you would typically see with what people would ascribe to addiction. Like I never been arrested, by the sheer luck and grace of God. I never got arrested. There's no real abuse or anything like that in my family. I had, like people talk about, sometimes you hear people say like they just wanted to have that full house family growing up. Like that was my family. That was my childhood, really. My parents were happily married. I have an older brother, an older sister, and a younger brother. And they were like my best friends. We got along incredibly well. There was never not to say we didn't argue, we were siblings, but there was never a point where it ever got violent. We never put hands on each other. It was never anything like that. And then I also had my cousins, and they were my best friends. My siblings and my cousins were my best friends. We spent all summers together. We spent weekends together. Sorry. But other than that, I didn't really have a lot of friends as a young kid. I don't know. Like I've always been introverted. I still am, and I think I was just kind of born that way. And I was just kind of socially awkward as a kid, so I didn't really have a lot of friends. I had one friend that lived across the street from me most of my life, and then I had my siblings and I had my cousins. So I'm very family oriented. Like even to this day, I still am. And everything was great. My childhood was great until when I was 9 years old. My father died unexpectedly, like completely out of the blue, and being 9 years old, I didn't understand it. Like a month prior, he took me to my first baseball game for my birthday. I seen him 2 days earlier, and as far as I knew, everything was completely fine. I went to go stay, with my cousins, which was never anything out of the ordinary. We did that all the time. And then when my aunt brought us home, my mom told me that my dad had died. It was a brain hemorrhage, but being 9 years old, I did not handle it well. I didn't really know what to make of it, but one thing that I knew was that there was a God, and I didn't like him, and I don't think he liked me. He took my dad, so from that point on, there was never, we weren't super religious when I was a kid, but from that point on, I hated religion, I hated God, I hated anything spiritual, There was just never a chance of me getting back into that at all. So from that point forward, the rest of my family just grew even closer. You know, I got closer with my siblings, got closer with my aunts, got closer with my cousins, something like that. Really rattled, you know, my whole family, and we all kind of banded together and got stronger because of it. And then when eventually, you know, my mom started dating somebody, you know, and I had a stepdad, and it was great. So it took me a while to come around to him, but he really was great right from the beginning. So it's not like I didn't have a father figure, but I was raised by women. You know, I have 4 aunts, or I have my mom and 3 aunts, and my grandmother, my sister, you know, they were who raised me. I was raised by women pretty much. And like I said, I didn't really have a ton of friends growing up until I got to high school. That I don't really know what changed exactly, but something changed. And suddenly, and then I started playing basketball. Basketball was like my thing. That was really my identity. That was what I did. That's how I referred to myself. Like, I'm a basketball player. That's what I do. So I had friends, you know, I made friends that way through the basketball, and through just other various outlets. Suddenly, I don't know what it was, but suddenly I had a lot of friends, and it was really cool. And then what comes with that is, like, I've always been insecure, so I was willing to do anything to keep those friends. It didn't matter what it was. I was willing to be whoever I needed to be with that clique to fit in. I finally felt like I was being accepted somewhere, and that I didn't want to lose that. So I think it was around 11th grade. You know, I started drinking with friends and smoking pot with friends. And it started off just, you know, just as that. And it was, you know, like a party thing. We would do it on the weekends, or occasionally we would skip school and go smoke pot together and stuff like that. And it all, you know, seemed so innocent and harmless at the time. We were just having fun. And then after I turned 18, when I turned 18, me and my siblings, there was a wrongful death suit with my father's death and the way he was treated at the hospital. So me and my siblings, when we turned 18, we inherited a lot of money. For me, it was $88,000. When I turned 18, that was just deposited into my checking account for me to do what I wanted with. So, you know, my mom trying to set things up for me and make sure I'm responsible. I bought a brand new car, 2-door Honda Accord. I loved it. It was freaking awesome. And paid for 2 years of schooling to go to college. So I enrolled in college. I went for, I think, a week, maybe 2. I had to take public speaking, and that was the end of that. Like, I was not having any of it. I just couldn't do that. But it's also around the time that I started experimenting with some of the harder drugs. I was in a relationship with somebody that had just kind of figured it out herself, you know, and it was during that time that, you know, the Roxys were just, I mean, they were like Tic Tacs. You could get them anywhere. They were cheap. So the first time I did one of those, I mean, I loved it, and I didn't see any kind of downside to it at all. And so here I am, I'm this 18-year-old kid, no real responsibilities, and just a buttload of money. You know, in my eyes, it's, you know, a never-ending supply of money, you know, at that age. That's what it seems like. So the next 2 years are kind of just one big party. Like, I moved out of my mom's house, moved in with my girlfriend, and yeah, we would just stay home all day. Neither of us worked. We would stay home. We would get drugs. We would go to the mall. We'd go shopping. We'd go to the movies. We'd go to dinner. We'd get drugs. I mean, that cycle repeated for like 2 years until suddenly my money was gone. And that was when I first discovered that, like, this wasn't a game. Like, suddenly I was sick. I didn't know why I was sick, because I had heard of withdrawal before, but I attributed that to people that are, you know, they're heroin junkies. They're, you know, people with needles in their arms. They're not, you know, people that are getting medication prescribed by a doctor that hundreds and thousands of people take every day, you know. I didn't realize that that is the same exact fucking thing. So that was a real rough reality check. I had no money. I couldn't do anything. Could barely get out of bed. Eventually, I couldn't pay rent. Couldn't do anything. So I ended up moving back into my mom's house. My girlfriend went back to her dad's house, and eventually, I got a job and was still just buying what I could when I could. I wasn't ready to stop or anything by any means. And then I turned 21 and got another settlement check for, I think it was 30,000. And you'd think I would have, maybe learned a little bit, but nope, moved right back out of my mom's house, moved right back in with the same girl, and we did the same exact thing over again. For about a year, and then that money was gone. And then I was supposed to get another settlement check when I turned 25, and I couldn't wait because I was in full-blown junkie mode at this point. So I ended up selling my settlement payment to JG Wentworth for a little over half of what I would have gotten if I just waited another year. It was awful. And at this point, the Roxys are getting harder and harder and harder to find. They're getting shut down. These doctors are getting shut down. So I ended up, Dilaudid was much easier. It's just easier to get. So, but I didn't like them. I didn't like snorting Dilaudid like I did with the Roxys. So, I found a new way. Somebody said, well, hey, these are way better. You just got to do them the right way. So that's how I ended up, picking up a needle and doing, switching to that. And once you do that, there's no substitute. There's no going back. That's just the way it was going to be moving forward. And it got really, really, at that point, I thought like it had gotten as worse as it could. Like I had hit a low. At this point, I was fully aware that I was an addict. I just didn't want to do anything about it. I didn't think I thought my problem was money. When I had money, everything was fine, and then when I didn't, I felt like shit and my life was miserable. So I thought I needed to find a way to have more money, not that I had to stop doing the drugs. So eventually I didn't have a choice in the matter. I ended up having to go back to my mom's house. I didn't have any money. I didn't have a job. My girlfriend had, went her own separate way, and I was kind of stuck. But I had a friend who was prescribed Suboxone, like an unusual amount of Suboxone, and he only did a very little bit. So he was, willing to give them to me to try to help me, get over what I was going through. But me being the addict that I am, I found a way to, get those in a needle and get those in my arm as well. So I started to delude myself, my mom was selling her house. So me and my brother needed a place to go. We ended up finding a trailer together, and I'm on Suboxone, even though I'm completely abusing it, but it's cheap. I can afford it. And I got a job, and I was doing really well at this job. I was working at Publix, and because I wasn't dope sick every day, I was showing up for work and doing my job. I was getting promoted like every 6 months. So I was moving up really quickly, and I was doing really well, with a needle in my arm every morning to get by. But that's what I was telling myself, that everything's fine. I can afford what I'm doing. I can pay my bills. I'm doing well at work. Everything's good. Until it got to a point where that wasn't nearly enough. And I think what triggered that is I was at work one day, and my mom called and told me that my cousin was killed in a motorcycle accident. And that's the same cousin, he was my best friend my whole life. He's the one that helped me get through my father's death. And it made it even worse that in my addiction, I kind of blew him off a lot. Like a month prior, he was trying to get me to hang out with him, and I kept blowing him off. So yeah, that was really hard. That was another really hard death for me to handle. And at that point, it was like, okay, I'm not okay with being okay anymore. I want to be numb. I don't want to feel anything anymore. So, even though I was abusing the Suboxone, that wasn't enough. I went back to pills. And, you know, very quickly that went downhill. I wasn't even maintaining work anymore. You know, I was calling out all the time. So, you know, I was getting warned and warned and warned. And then one day they called me up to their office and they were begging me. They were just begging me to tell them that I need help. They were going to pay for the rehab. They were going to let me keep my job. They were going to do all of that. They were begging for me to do it. And I just wouldn't. I was not ready. I don't know. Looking back on it, I really wish I would have, because I had a good job and I had a future there and everything. But yeah, I fucked that up. I was not ready to stop. So they fired me and I didn't have a job again. So I started, you know, stealing from my brother, stealing from my mom, stealing from my sister, you know, anything I could to support my addiction. And one day, I'm trying to buy something, I'm trying to buy a pill. And a friend says, well, for that same money, you can get yourself a bag of fentanyl and it will last you 3 times as long. So I was sold on that. And then again, no going back. Once I did that, the pills no longer did anything for me. That's what I had to have. And that's when I really hit my bottom. You know, I did this for 2 years. I was working, and doesn't matter where I was working. I was working for a place and I was stealing money from the register every day. And eventually, you know, they fired me. They never had me on camera, so I never, you know, they didn't press charges. I didn't get arrested or anything, but they did know. So when they came to me and told me they were firing me, I wasn't going to argue that. You know, I was glad I was walking out of there on my own and not in cuffs. So somehow I think I was still fooling people enough. I mean, I really wasn't fooling everybody, but I was fooling them enough to think that I could still at least function, because my brother-in-law offered me a job where he worked. And I worked there for about 6 months and I was stealing everything. I was stealing power tools, I was stealing expensive cameras, stealing equipment, anything that was worth anything got pawned, got sold. And it was just, nothing was enough. There was never enough. You know, even, you know, I'd get my tax return and it'd be huge. And I would think, okay, I have enough money. I'm going to buy this. I'm going to parcel it out. This is what I can do today. This is what I can do tomorrow. This, you know, and it would always be gone in a couple of days. And I had the fucking ego like you would not believe, because I knew everybody did that. I knew that was everybody's strategy. You know, I knew everybody always had a plan and everybody fucked it up, but I was going to be that one. I was going to be that person that figures it out, the right amount to last and be okay. And it never works out that way. So eventually it got really bad. And I wasn't, even when I had money and I had drugs, and I wasn't happy. There was no fun at all. It got, the last year of my addiction, I would go do whatever I could to get money, steal whatever I could, go get my drugs, go into my room, sit in my dark room with nothing and just get high by myself and be fucking miserable. And I got tired of it. I got sick of that, but I didn't know what to do. And, you know, I started thinking, as much as I love my family, I'm not doing them any good by living. I'm only hurting them. So if I weren't here anymore, yeah, they'd be upset for a little bit, but ultimately they'd be better off. So I had this plan where, you know, I stole a bunch of shit, you know, sold it, pawned it, got as much drugs as I could. My plan was to just end it that way. You know, I was going to overdose myself. It almost worked. I don't remember exactly what happened. I think I had a seizure is what happened, but I'm not 100% sure. But I woke up the next morning, like in this little crack between the wall and the bed on the floor. And like my head was bruised, my knuckles were all bruised. I don't really remember, but I remember being so miserable that I woke up. I was devastated that I was alive. But I was. So, you know, my thought was, well, it didn't work. I'm alive. I'm going to need money. I'm going to need drugs. So I might as well go into work and see what I can fucking steal. So I walk into work and vague memories of talking to my brother-in-law. And then that's it. Like I blacked out and cracked my head open on the floor of my work and woke up in the hospital. And if I didn't have a concussion, I still think I would have fought. But that was when I told, my mom was there with me, and I told the nurses there that I have a big problem and I really need help. I would not have done that if I didn't have a really bad brain injury, I don't think. But yeah, it was crazy. So like I got to the hospital, they admitted me. I had endocarditis, I was septic, and the endocarditis had eaten away at my tricuspid heart valve. So I was very, very near death. And when they told me that, I wasn't happy. And I mean, suddenly I didn't want to die. I wanted to live, but I didn't think there was any way out still. Like I didn't know what could be done. Like I kind of just thought, this is who I was. This is who I always had to be. But while I was in the hospital, I was there for, I think, 10 or 11 days. And while I was there, they kept on sending me, they're trying to keep me alive, which they did, thankfully. But I was at Baycare, and they kept on sending me these peer consultants, these peer specialists, and they would come and ask me, do I want help? Because it is available. There is help available. So I probably would have said no, but my mom was there, so I had to say yes. So they came in me with these different options of, outpatient treatment, and then a list of different inpatient treatment centers. And I don't know, I would go back and forth because I would fight with them and my mom and anybody else that I can do outpatient. I don't need to go to rehab. I don't have to do that. I can go to, whatever meeting you want me to go to, and I can do outpatient therapy and I will be fine. And I was really just trying to convince them of that because that was the only way I'd be able to get high still. And even after all that, I still wanted to get high. But eventually I was there for long enough, and I had said I'm willing to try a rehab center. But it was during COVID. There was a hurricane that hit around that time. It was 4th of July weekend, and there just wasn't going to happen to where I was going to have this smooth transition from the hospital into a rehab center. So they released me into the care of my mother, and I went back to her house. And as soon as I got home, or to her house, I didn't have my cell phone, but she did let me have my tablet. So I downloaded some app and started texting my dealer. I told him that he can have my car. Like I would give him my car, the keys. He can just take it. Just bring me something, anything. I didn't care what it was. Which he said he would. I had it all set up for, after my mom went to bed, I was going to get something that way. But I'd also promised my mom that I would go to a meeting that day that we got out of the hospital, a 12-step fellowship meeting. And I really didn't want to, but I told her I would. So I would, just to make her happy. And then in that first meeting I went to, my whole life changed. It's what they call a spiritual awakening. It was the most incredible feeling I'd ever experienced. That whole way of thinking was gone. That craving, that urge, that wanting to get high was just gone. And that meeting, I finally met people that understood what I was going through and have overcome these thoughts, these cravings, these horrible things that I've done. They can relate. They are living a life, So at that point, I gave my mom the tablet, told her what I was trying to do, told her, do not give that back to me because I will fuck it up. And after a week, I went into a rehab. I finally was able to get into a rehab through Baycare. And I was there. That place saved my life. It really did. As much as I sometimes think about like what would happen, like I still sometimes think like, would I have made it? Would I have been able to make it this far? Just going to meetings, doing outpatient, But the truth is, no. The truth is I wouldn't have. And I really do know that. They saved my life in there. I learned a lot, met some great people. And it's everything that I needed. I need to be cut off from the world and just work on myself, and that's what I got to do there. I didn't finish the program. I didn't graduate the program. I was there for 5.5 months, and then I left to be with my family for Christmas. And then went to a sober living house I stayed there for 5 months while doing outpatient. And I just left there. I moved out of there a couple weeks ago with my wonderful family that I have. My sister and my brother-in-law let me come stay with them to save up some money to get my own place. So that's like where I'm at now. And it's so crazy. Like I think back to that first meeting. My first reaction when I first got into those rooms was like, these people are full of fucking shit. Like every one of these people has to be full of shit. Like they're here because they're forced to be here. Like they're court ordered or they're fucking lying because those were the options. They're lying, they're court ordered, or they're just not really addicts like I'm an addict. Because I couldn't see a different way. I couldn't see it possible. I couldn't see being happy and living a life if you were in the position that I was. I just didn't see a way around it. It's funny, that very first meeting I went to, my mother came with me. Like I'm 32 years old, I'm a grown adult, and my mother's there with me. And I weighed 112 pounds when I got to the hospital, 6'3", 112 pounds. And that's pretty much what I was when I got out of the hospital still. So, very sickly looking, very scared, So like at that first meeting, everybody saw me like this and came up to me. They introduced themselves, they let me know that I'm not alone. They made me feel welcome. And it was a big sigh of relief. And then like in treatment, a couple of those same people were the ones that were bringing in these meetings every week into the rehab center. And that was just, I don't know, it was comfortable. That's what made me stay in that rehab, because when I first got there, I was terrified and I didn't think I would last a week, but seeing familiar faces definitely helped. So now, like, it's weird because I don't know. I never was that guy that was like, once I got clean, once that physical withdrawal was over, there's no more restless legs, I'm able to sleep again. Like I look back and I'm like, what the fuck was I doing? Like I never had those thoughts of, oh my God, this sucks, I can't get high ever again, what am I gonna do? Like mine was just this huge weight off my shoulders and this huge sigh of relief of, thank fucking God, I never ever have to go back to doing that ever again. And I did worry about, the things that a lot of people worry about is like, well, my life's going to be boring and mundane and I'm not going to be able to have fun anymore. But the truth is, the last couple of years of my addiction, there was never any fun. I mean, really the last like 7 or 8 years, it wasn't fun at all. And in this past 11 months since I've gotten clean, I've had more fun than in the whole 16 years I was in active addiction. I get to do things today. I get to be there with my family. I got to go to my nephew's graduation. I got to go to my other nephew's birthday party today. I get to go to, tons of events. Like on Saturday, I got to go with, Recovery on the Square with like 500 other addicts that are, just like me, that have awesome stories to tell and hope to give and everything. So I don't know. I do fuck up a lot because I was under the impression of once I get clean, my life will just be better. Everything will be easier. Like, this is my problem. My problem is the drugs. Once I get rid of the drugs, everything will be okay. And that was not anywhere near true. I'm still very unstable. I'm very bipolar. I suffer from depression, anxiety. All those things are still very real. So there's still things I struggle with on a daily basis. But I find new ways to cope with them. And one of the biggest ones is through my 12-step fellowship. I find that when I'm in those places where, I'm feeling depressed or alone, it's because I've done something that I shouldn't be. I've disassociated. I stopped reaching out to people or even accepting, calls when they reach out to me, because I have some great friends in the fellowship that, will check up on me constantly or frequently. And when I don't answer the phone to them, I start getting worse. I start isolating more, and then my head more, and then I start questioning my whole recovery and what I'm doing here, or if I can really do this, or if I'm just wasting my time. And I still have that voice in the back of my head sometimes that says, no, like, this is my first attempt. This is my first attempt at recovery. This is the first time I've ever been clean. And I still have that voice in my head that tells me, at some point you're going to fuck it up. Almost everybody does. Almost everybody has at least one relapse in their story. So why not do it now? Like, why not get it out of the way before you're 2, 3, 4 years in, and then you have to start over? Like, why not just get it out of the fucking way? And that's the kind of shit that gets in my head when I start isolating. So, like, I cannot stress enough the importance of connection in recovery. What they say, the opposite of addiction is connection. There's a reason behind that. There's a reason behind everything that you hear in the rooms and in early recovery. Another mistake that I made was, while I was in rehab, I heard a lot of "don't get in a relationship your first year of recovery." And I laughed at it every time somebody brought it up. Like, fuck you. You can't tell me what to do. Like, that is not going to happen. And it turned out it wasn't even a relationship, but I did catch feelings for somebody, and I got my heart broken, and that was this close to sending me back out. So all these little things that you hear constantly, like the importance of, your step work, the importance of making it to your meetings, whether it's smart recovery, like Justin said earlier, smart recovery, whether it's through, I can't believe I can't remember the name of it. I don't know, whether it's religion, 12-step meetings, smart recovery, whatever it is, you got to have some kind of connection. At least I do, because I couldn't imagine how hard this would be to do it on my own, because I have an abundance of love and abundance of support all around me, and it's still a fucking challenge every single day. So I wake up every morning and I have to convince myself, well, I don't have to convince myself, but I do have to remind myself of how bad it was. And no matter how crappy I'm feeling, it was worse. Like, this is 100 times better than where I was. And I never thought it could be this good. And it only gets better from here if I keep doing the right things. I feel like I missed out on a lot, but that's where I'm at right now. I don't know. I think I'm going to leave it there.
Hey, no, man, that's perfect. Exactly where it is, man. It's like they always say, man, more would be revealed. Whatever was supposed to be said was said. Man, it's such an inspiring story, man. You talk about you don't have anything. Man, get out of here with that bull. You know what I mean? Like, bro, you just nailed it, bro. You killed it, man. I loved it. I loved all of it, man.
Real quick, can I say one more thing? It's not that I don't feel like I never had a story to tell. I have guilt for my story. I have guilt that I have things in recovery that so many addicts don't have. And I do. I appreciate them. I'm grateful. I know how blessed I am. My family never for a second turned their back on me. And as soon as I got clean, they were willing to turn their whole lives upside down to make sure I had what I needed to succeed. That's a gift that, some people, I understand some addicts, never get that chance to get back with their family, so it's almost like I feel guilt. I feel guilt that I have advantages that other addicts don't get. And that's why I don't like to talk about it. That's really what it comes down to. That just hit me just now. That's what it is.
I mean, we can have the guilt, but it's good that you get that. You get to tell people that, like, hey, man, I got my family back. I got all these gifts because of the recovery, I wouldn't feel no guilt about any of that, man. It's your story. But yeah, man, it was such a great story. Connection is key. It doesn't matter where you're at, what you're doing. We need connection. We're human beings. We need relationships. We need the human experience, as somebody told me when I first got in recovery, man, we're spiritual beings having a human experience. And I absolutely love that, and that's
I love that.
Yeah, I love it.
I haven't heard that one.
Speaking of which, Dustin, what sorry,
Bodie wants to talk, bro.
Shared earlier about your feelings about God and spirituality. How has that evolved since you've been in recovery?
Oh my God! See, I knew I was going to leave all kinds of stuff out. So it started with I never would have gone into any of these fellowships if I knew there was a spiritual component to it. I didn't know anything about any of this going into it, you know. But it was not for me at the time, you know. It would have kept me out if I knew that these were spiritual programs. So when I first got there, you know, a power greater than myself was these people around me, the collective spirit of these people around me that are doing something that I can't. Together, they seem to be doing it and I can't. So they are the power greater than myself. Over time, that kind of evolved, and I've found today I'm very involved in the church again. You know, I'm a Baptist Christian. I go to church every Sunday with my mom. I have a full belief in God, and it's a beautiful thing, you know, like, and again, part of the fellowship, you know, is about surrendering your will to that higher power. And I often take my will back. You know, I often find myself asking why, or forcing things that just aren't meant to be, or forcing things, you know, impatiently wanting things to happen on my time. And that's just not how it works. I'll usually catch it, but not as soon as I would like. You know, I'll sit in my shit for a little bit. I'll sit in anger or you know, my own pity party. I love that party, man. I'm always invited to that shit.
You know, we do love sitting our shit for a while, and sometimes it takes a while. You know, I can sit in my I can sit so comfortably in my shit, and I don't even notice that I'm in shit. You know what I mean? Everybody else could smell me though, and I'm sitting here, flies are flying around. You know what I mean? Like I'm really stinking, and like I can't tell. Like, and that's why we need the people. That's why I need Nate to tell me, hey, bro, like being a little stanky, a little extra stanky today. You know? And I just think it's super cool, man. You know what I used to say to people, man? I used to say it flipped the script on me. Recovery flipped it on me. I used to blame every single freaking person in my life for what they've done. Or
Yep.
the reason I am who I am. This is why I'm here. This is this, that, and the other thing. And the whole time I'm pointing right back at me. You know, they always say you point at somebody, you got five
fingers pointed back.
Right back at you. And it's so truth. It's me. I'm the problem. I'm the one to blame. It's all me. But I didn't have no responsibility, you know? My favorite thing in this whole thing is the triangle of self-obsession. And it says that we lost our way. Like when we were growing up, we expected the world to feed us. And man, when our expectations are let down, you know, like we are just some angry motherfuckers. And there's some people that turn inward in order to get it, but we look outward in order to receive it. And that's something that we have to practice. And it's an everyday practice. You know, I'm still not there, you know, most days. You know, Nate, want to say specific?
Yeah, I was just wanting Dustin some more questions.
So, go ahead.
What would you tell someone that's either on the fence about getting sober or is brand new in recovery? What would you tell them?
Oh, somebody that is considering it. I think you need to remind them that or assure them that it is possible, because I never thought it was. Like, you know, I needed to be convinced and I needed to see it. So really that's what it would be. I would drag their ass into a meeting with me, you know, into my fellowships for them to see that it's possible. There are people just like you going through the same shit that have found a way out.
Right.
And there's somebody that's new in recovery, I would just tell them that it gets better, because it does, man. Those first couple weeks are freaking rough, man. And a lot of times, I know I personally have started to feel pretty hopeless. You know, people will tell me, you know, the physical withdrawal lasts 5 to 7 days or whatever. And, you know, 17 days later, I still can't sleep. I still have restless legs. It's like, what am I doing this for? Like, why am I doing this? Like, there's an escape right here, you know. And just, I think people need that assurance that if they tough it out, it does get better. It gets easier and your life gets a hell of a lot better. And that there's a life outside of addiction. There's a better life. There's a better way of life waiting for you.
You know, it's funny. It's the easy way out is just to keep continue on the same path. It's like anything that we don't know, we don't understand, we're not new at it, we're uncomfortable. All these things, you know, like we can make them almost the enemy. You know, like I always say it all the time. Like something we're not comfortable with, we can make the enemy until we try it. You know what I mean? Like listen, I'm practicing it because I will sit here and say some crap about certain things like I have never tried just because it's not comfortable with me and I don't want to, you know, it's just not there. Just like recovery is not comfortable. It's something new. It's going to be hard at first. You know what I mean? Like there's so many emotions, like you get all these emotions back and it's coming at you like a flood and you're like, you don't know how to handle this stuff as it's coming. And then boom, like it starts getting easier. Now it just becomes habit, you know, what is it? 40 days it takes to form a habit, you know?
Yeah. I'll tell you, but yeah, getting your emotions back was really, really difficult for me. You know, I've shielded them all. Anybody that knows me knows I'm a very emotional person. You know, like I will just start crying out of nowhere. You know, something will pop into my head and I'll just start crying because that's just who I am. I don't know. But especially like early in recovery, man, like while I was detoxing, you know, like I would sit around and cry all day. I don't even know why I was crying. I was crying over the fact that I was crying. Like it was just absurd. And I had no idea why. It's just this flood of emotions, you know, and then it was never in the beginning, it was never positive emotions. It was all anger and it's all towards myself, you know, anger, guilt, shame, you know, and just stuck in that thought of, man, I fucked up beyond belief, you know, and I just couldn't get over it. So I would just sit there and wallow in my own fucking self-pity.
Yeah, no, and I get it. Yeah, it's like you don't even know why you're crying, you're just crying, you know,
Yeah.
and all the new emotions that you get. Go ahead, Nate. I knew you unmuted yourself.
No, do we have any comments that anybody?
Yeah, I was just getting ready to do it.
Okay.
Thanks, buddy. Keep me in
I
check.
want to, you know, boost Dustin's ego. I know that he don't really need any more of that, but
first, I want to give a shout out to Allie,
how
man.
supported he is, though.
She has 6 months for her today. Congratulations.
Yeah.
We got a bunch of shares. We got Tiffany says, hey fam, love you, Dustin.
I love Tiffany.
She's awesome. Awesome.
She is freaking the best.
Let's see. We have Dustin, all the hope shots in rehab. Now you're here. Hey, that's another thing. Dustin, didn't you find us in rehab?
I did. It was
He didn't even shout us out. Damn.
I don't know. I shouldn't throw around other people's names. Yeah, there was a girl I was in there with that actually came in on the same day as me, and she fought. She had known Caesar, I think, or maybe multiple, maybe all of you guys. I don't know, but she fought like hell to get you guys on the Sunday nights when we would normally do social rec and everybody would play cards and whatnot. And she fought to get it shown one time. One time they made everybody go in and watch it, and then after that it was optional. But there were a group of guys that would go every Sunday after that. Me, Mike, we would always go in there and watch.
That's awesome. And we got James Frank. He says, I can relate, Dustin, but you will inspire change, brother. Let's see. We got Jamie. What's up, Jamie? She says, Dustin, my dog, so proud of you.
Jamie's my positivity coach.
We all do that.
You can't be in a bad mood around her, I swear.
Here we go. We got Sky. Dustin, I love you, man. You're amazing. You're doing great. Love you.
Love you, Sky. Thank you.
Rachel says, I love you, Dustin.
That's my big sis, Rachel.
We got Kelly. She says, hey guys, you're all amazing. Thank you so much. Hey, and there's another thing, guys. I put a comment. If you look for the Hope Shot comment, I put, if you guys want to share your story, you know, I seen somebody else. I'm going to find the comment in here, but there's something else and I've never heard of it. So I want to check it out. But there's so many pathways of recovery, man. We want to hear them all. You know, everybody has a story. We all have stories, even if, you know what? Check this out. I read this definition from SAMHSA of what recovery is, and I freaking absolutely love it. I'm going to read it real quick. Recovery defined by SAMHSA as a process of change through which individuals improve their health and wellness. live self-directed lives, and strive to reach their full potential. That's recovery. And I was like, man, that is what's up. Like, that's a great definition. It's like your overall wellness, improving it, reaching your full potential in life. That is freaking like, that's, I don't know how to, like, that's perfect. Let's see what we got. I know we got Kizzy says, thank you so much for sharing. We got Rachel again. There just aren't words adequate to express just how freaking proud of you I am, little brother. I miss you so darn much, and I am beyond grateful to witness your journey and growth. You are a hope shot.
Thank you, Rachel. Love you.
Melissa says, I understand the plan. I'm so grateful your plan failed as with the suicide attempt. You have a purpose and you are serving it beautifully today. I'm proud of you.
Thank you, Melissa. Can't wait to read your book.
Yeah. It's a detours, man. It has different purpose. We don't I'm glad that your plan didn't go well either, man. You got Caesar says, I'm so damn proud of you. Let's see. Oh, we got Danielle says, I have only recently stopped drinking since the 26th of last month. So you are very helpful right now, inspiring. Thank you for sharing tonight. Thank you, Danielle, for being here and hearing Dustin's story. And congratulations. Just keep going. Don't give up on yourself. Whoever's watching this and is new to recovery, don't give up on yourself. You deserve it. You deserve that full potential of life. Like, just don't give up on yourself. Fight the thoughts, Let's see, we got now you're out rubbing elbows with politicians, decision makers. Let's see.
No, I'm watching you guys do that.
You're with us, bro. Okay, calm down. You are so genuine and transparent. Your story gives so much strength and hope for others.
Thank you.
That's our Canadian friend. She's all the way up in Canada.
You got viewers all over the globe.
Yeah. Let's see. We got Brandy says, Dustin, you've done an amazing job of sharing your story. Thank you for your willingness, honesty, and transparency. Let's see. We got Rebecca says I'm 11 months clean too. I still have that voice in my head.
Congratulations. Yeah, that voice is a bitch.
Caesar says relapse is not a requirement, and it isn't.
No, sir.
Let's see. There we go. Mike says, start that one key wonder, be the hope. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Angel. She says, I go to Reformers Unanimous. And I'm like, oh, that's new. I've never heard that. I'd love to know more. I hope you sign up for that on that sheet.
Yeah, tell us about it. I don't know that one at all.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'd love for you to sign up so we can hear all about it. Let's see. Oh, we got Tiffany again. Says you're a freaking rock star, my friend. So proud of you. Keep going. Oh, we got Steve, Bodie, and Captain Nate.
Bodie always chiming in.
What's up, Justin? Love the shot. Kylene says, amazing share. I can relate so much. I come from a beautiful family dynamic too, and I'm grateful. My parents never let me go, no matter how bad it was for me. How bad it for me. Yeah. Okay. I'm trying to dissect that, but it didn't work out for me.
Not that all of these comments don't mean so much to me, but that one, my biggest fear was that my story wouldn't relate to anybody. So that made me feel good.
Hey, I need your address. She's gonna send you a book.
What?
Melissa. She's gonna send you a book. If you guys don't know, Melissa, she was on last
Melissa,
week.
I will send you a message after the stream. Thank you. You are the fucking best.
She was on last week and shared her story, and she just did a book. Sober. I'm gonna try not to mess this up. Sober now. Sober now. So now what? Right? Yeah. Hey, correct me again, Melissa. I'm not good.
You added too many nows, but I might be wrong.
Yeah, I probably did. So we got let's see, we got Amy Michelle says 21 months for me. Congratulations.
Thank you for all the encouragement before the stream, Amy.
I got Pat says, you're amazing, Dustin. Your story was inspiring to all of us.
Thank
Kelly
you.
says, we love you, Dustin. Justin doesn't share my comments. Lame. You know what, Kelly?
Love you, Kelly.
But now I shared your comment. What are you talking about?
I got the AD, the new AD of Live Tampa Bay here supporting.
Yeah,
me.
right.
Special.
Yeah. And we have Kimberly says, I just received my 12 years on 6/6. It does creep in. The deal is to self-talk my way up and not allow myself to slip, not to hang around anyone who uses. Go to God, yes, and remember my bottoms. Always remember your bottoms. Always remember that dark place. Keeps you here, you know.
Yeah. It's a shame I don't have any photos from me being in the hospital, because I would have that planted right on my door to see every freaking day.
There it is. I'm sober. So now what? A journey to hope and healing. Thank you so much, Melissa. I swear I'm going to get that down one day. So, all right. Well, hey, again, let's thank you, Dustin, for being on here. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you guys for having me.
You're amazing.
Thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for all the love and support.
Yes. Thank you all for being
here.
What's up, Bodie? If you guys haven't shared this yet, man, listen, this will touch somebody tonight. This will help somebody. Just get it out there. Let's share it. If you haven't shared it yet, take a second, hit that share button. We appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Come check us out this Sunday, 8 p.m. We'll be doing our Sunday night lives. It's always a goodie. Yeah? What?
Sunday?
You? Me? Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you. We're going to be doing a special for Nate. It's Nate's celebrates his recovery date. He's got 4 years this Sunday, so we're going to do a little something special for Nate. We're just going to
hell yeah.
He's going to share a little bit, and we're going to just roast his ass. We can have a little fun, man. Celebrate Nate, man, for 4 years, man. He's the real deal. So come join us this Sunday, 8 p.m. right here live on the Hope Shot, and we love you all. Good night.
I freaking love you guys. Thank you so much.
Love you too, buddy. See ya.
Why are you such a shithead?